Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Easy Academy. In this particular video, we're going to be covering how to use the Apache Kafka Connect framework to synchronize several data stores with your search services. So these databases could include things like MySQL, Postgres, Azure Cosmos DB, and then your search store could be something like ElasticSearch, which is an open source product, and the Azure Cognitive Search Service, which is a platform offering available from Microsoft Azure. So that's what we're going to be covering in this particular video. So let's get started. So this particular tutorial is going to be a multi-part series. In this particular video, I'm going to be covering some of the use cases and the architecture behind the whole setup. And then in upcoming videos, I'll pick a particular data store, which will be a MySQL relational store, and then I would show you how to synchronize that to Elasticsearch, another open source search product, using Kafka Connect to do the real-time synchronization. And then we'll also, in that particular video, cover an interactive demo that will show you exactly how to do it. So this may be 3 videos, it may be 2 videos, depending on how long the second or third content is gonna be. So in this particular content, I'm gonna be talking about some of the use cases when it comes to retail industry, financial applications, and electronic health systems. So for retail, this is very popular, where you want to be able to show all the content that is available on the e-commerce website, but you want to be able to subtract the inventory when it's going down. You want to be able to increase the inventory count. So what you don't want to do is putting all this search functionality like faceting, like natural language searching, keyword search, synonym replacement. You don't want to be doing all of that inside your relational store. So what you want is, you want the data store for your retail application or your financial service application or your medical record system to be, you want the database to be the source of truth and the origin of everything, where your users are interacting with that to save the content, either doing inserts, upserts, or sometimes they can be doing updates and deletes. So whatever you're doing in the origin data store, you want that to be just focused on that. But when it comes to all the search application like keyword searching, synonym search, faceting, all of that search capabilities, you want to focus that on something like Elasticsearch or Azure Cognitive Search. So you don't want to be mixing that up. But also at the same time, you don't want to be having to create a batch job to be the one synchronizing any changes that is happening in this particular layer with the search service. So this is where Kafka Connect comes in, because databases now have something called change data capture, which allows you to stream all the changes, whether it's modifications of existing records, insertion of new records, or removal of existing records. All those changes can be synchronized into Kafka using Kafka Connect source connectors. And then once that happens, you can push that to your search system in real time or near real time. So these use cases are some of the common ones that I have seen. In terms of the old architecture, the way things were done in the past is you would pretty much have a batch job that will run maybe once a week, sometimes once a day, sometimes once every hour. But that is not really real time, because what that is doing is that sometimes the inventory could have increased, or the records could have been modified during the time that the user is trying to search, and you're not getting exactly what is in the origin store. So these batch systems are kind of like the old way of doing things, and that is now deprecated. The new strategy now is to use Kafka Connect to do the synchronization. So some of the databases that we have encountered in my particular use case is the ones I have on the screen right now. I've used MongoDB, I've used Postgres, I've used MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and Azure Cosmos DB. And all of these, they have connectors that allow you to stream the changes that are happening in these data stores into Kafka brokers. Once the changes have arrived in the Kafka broker, like events, then the next thing for us to do is to find a way to push that out into your search system. So the two search systems that I will cover would be Elasticsearch and Azure Cognitive Search. This again, they also have what we call sync connectors that allows you to push the data out of the Kafka broker into the search system. So this new strategy is summarized as follows. So you have your origin database, which could be something like MySQL or Cosmos DB or Postgres or MongoDB. And then you have what we call source connectors. So these source connectors are responsible for capturing all the changes that are happening in the origin data store. And then they're now pushing those changes as producers into your Kafka brokers. Now, once the data or the event arrives in your Kafka broker, the next phase is for us to push those changes out of the Kafka broker using what we call sync connectors, which are sort of like consumers that pull the events or the records out of the Kafka broker and then pushes those into the search stores like Elasticsearch or Azure Cognitive Search. So this is the summary of what we're going to be covering in this multi-part series. And then in the next series, we're going to be talking about some of the setup for using the MySQL source connector from Debezium to push all those inserts, deletes, and updates into Kafka broker, and then we will show you how to sync that with Elasticsearch. So we covered the use cases and architecture today. I hope that provides you an overview, and then in the upcoming video or videos, we're going to be talking about the setup of how to configure the connector, both the source connector for MySQL and the sync connector for Elasticsearch. And then we'll do an interactive demo to walk you through exactly how this works and how it is set up, as well as how the changes are happening at the database layer and how all those changes are being reflected in near real time in the search system. So if you like this particular content, I would urge you to click the like button and also subscribe to the channel so that when we publish new content similar to this, you will get notified and you will also get to share with it. Now, the next thing I would like to say is, if you like the content and you think it was useful, please go ahead and share it with someone who you think would benefit from it. And I have a course that is related to processing data and also how to set up things like event stream processing with Kafka and Flink and all those other event stream processing frameworks. So the link to the course will be in the description. If you are interested, you can check it out. And then just let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If there are anything you would like to see in this particular video or in upcoming series, please feel free to put it as a comment in the comment section and I will take a look at it. So thank you for your time today, and I will see you in the upcoming videos.